Hi, I'm Lena. 6 months ago, I buried my husband of 42 years and suddenly found myself alone in our three-bedroom house with nothing but memories and his life insurance policy. My son Michael insisted I shouldn't be alone. So here I am, living in their guest bedroom while I get back on my feet. If only he knew I'm the one keeping us all afloat. Mom, did you see the electric bill? It's outrageous this month. Michael handed me the envelope while Jessica hovered in the doorway, arms crossed. I'll take care of it, honey. Don't worry. You don't have to do that. Jessica's voice had that fake sweet tone she uses when Michael is around. It's no trouble. Consider it part of my rent. The moment Michael left for work, Jessica's smile vanished. We need to talk about your long-term plans. This was supposed to be temporary, remember? I nodded and escaped to my room, where I pulled out my checkbook. The electric bill joined the mortgage payment, water bill, and grocery receipts I'd been quietly handling since moving in. Jessica had no idea I was paying nearly 70% of their household expenses. Later that week, I met my best friend Elaine at our usual coffee spot. You're still bankrolling them? Lena, this has to stop. What choice do I have? Michael would be mortified if he knew Jessica was burning through his paychecks on her shopping sprees. Elaine stirred her latte vigorously. He's a grown man. He needs to see what she's doing. He loves her, and he's never been good at confrontation. Gets that from his father. And meanwhile, she treats you like an unwanted house guest when you're keeping their lights on. My phone buzzed with a text from Michael. Mom, Jess says the property tax is due. Can you check the mail? See what I mean? I showed Elaine the message. He doesn't even question why she's asking me to handle it. Because he knows you will. Michael might be passive, but he's not stupid. That evening, I found Jessica going through my mail on the kitchen counter. Looking for something. She didn't even have the decency to look embarrassed. Just sorting. You got another letter from the insurance company? I can handle my own correspondence, thank you. Michael walked in, immediately sensing the tension. Everything okay? Fine, honey. I forced a smile. Later, I overheard them arguing in their bedroom. Your mother barely contributes around here. We can't keep supporting her indefinitely. She just lost Dad. Give her time. It's been 6 months, Michael. We have our own lives. The next morning, Jessica cornered me in the kitchen while Michael was in the shower. Look, Lena, I think we need to discuss your living situation. You don't contribute enough to justify staying here long term. Michael works hard, and I'm trying to build my business. We can't keep carrying you. I clutched my coffee mug tighter, rage building behind my calm expression. If she only knew who was really carrying whom. I smiled sweetly at Jessica as she waited for my response about not contributing enough. You're absolutely right. I should be more mindful of my place here. The surprise on her face was priceless. She'd expected tears or begging, not agreement. That afternoon, I called Robert, my late husband's financial advisor. We met at his downtown office the next day. Lena, good to see you. How are you holding up? I'd be better if my daughter-in-law wasn't trying to get her hands on my money. Robert shifted uncomfortably in his leather chair. Funny you should mention that. Jessica called me last month asking about your husband's life insurance payout and whether you had access to his retirement accounts yet. She what? My blood ran cold. She has no business asking about my finances. I told her I couldn't discuss your financial information with her. She claimed she was helping you organize your affairs. The only affair she's organizing is getting me out of their house while keeping my checkbook. After leaving Robert's office, I had a new mission. When I got home, I created a folder labeled Life Insurance Settlement and filled it with fake documents showing a much smaller payout than I'd actually received. I left it accidentally visible in my room. Sure enough, 3 days later, I returned early from grocery shopping and caught Jessica rifling through my papers. Looking for something specific? I asked from the doorway. She jumped, clutching my folder. Just tidying up, you left this out. How thoughtful. I've been wondering where I put that. The following week, Jessica's mother, Diane, came for dinner. a loud, boisterous woman with the same calculating eyes as her daughter. Lena, how are you adjusting to widowhood? Such a shame you had to give up your independence. I'm managing, thank you. Well, Jessica tells me they're thinking of converting your room into a home office soon. Isn't that exciting? Michael nearly choked on his potatoes. What? No, we're not. Jessica kicked her mother under the table. Mom, I mentioned that as a someday thing. When Lena finds her own place. Which I'm actively looking for, I lied smoothly. In fact, I should start budgeting differently for my new life. That night, I made a decision. I stopped all automatic payments I'd been making for their household. I transferred my remaining balance to a new account Jessica knew nothing about. 2 weeks later, Michael came home looking worried. The mortgage payment bounced. The bank called me at work. Jessica frowned. That's impossible. I scheduled it. With what money? He asked. The account was short by almost $2,000. Maybe your mother could help temporarily, Jessica suggested, eyeing me. I wish I could, but I'm saving for my own place, remember? Diane mentioned you need my room for an office. That's not what Jessica began. Actually, I interrupted, I think it's time I started properly documenting my contributions. I wouldn't want anyone thinking I don't contribute enough. Michael looked between us, confusion evident. What's going on with you two? Nothing, Jessica said quickly. We'll figure out the mortgage. Probably just a banking error. But it wasn't a banking error, and the cable was disconnected 3 days later. Jessica blamed the company for a mistake. Then the water bill came with a final notice. The facade was beginning to crack. The tension in the house thickened as Jessica stomped around slamming cabinet doors after discovering the internet had been shut off. This is ridiculous. How are these bills not getting paid? She glared at me. I suppose you think this is funny. Not at all. Financial troubles are serious. We wouldn't have troubles if certain people pulled their weight around here. Michael walked in, looking exhausted. Can we please not do this tonight? My boss wants to see me tomorrow. The next morning, I ran into Michael's boss, Marcus, at the coffee shop. Mrs. Patterson, great to see you. How are you settling in with Michael and his wife? Still adjusting. Michael mentioned a meeting with you. Everything okay? Marcus lowered his voice. Between us, the company's restructuring. I'm fighting to keep Michael's position, but his wife keeps calling about raises and bonuses. It's not helping his case. She's been calling you? Several times. Says they're struggling financially. When I got home, Jessica was photographing their wedding china. Spring cleaning? I asked innocently. Online marketplace. The economy's so bad right now, everyone's selling stuff. Later that week, I noticed Michael's grandfather clock, a family heirloom, was missing. Where's the clock? Jessica waved dismissively. In storage. It was too noisy. But I spotted the receipt from the pawn shop in the kitchen trash. That night, I overheard them arguing. We need to talk to her about a loan, Michael. A substantial one. I'm not asking my mother for money right after she lost Dad. She got a huge insurance payout. Meanwhile, we're about to lose the house. Maybe we should look at our spending. This isn't about spending. We need that money. Your job's on the line, the bills are piling up. She already helps us. With what? Dirty dishes? We need her life insurance money, Michael. I walked into their living room, financial statements in hand. You want to know how I've been contributing? Here's every bill I've paid since moving in. Jessica's face went pale. You were eavesdropping? And you were pawning family heirlooms while plotting to take my insurance money. Michael took the statements, eyes widening. Mom, you've been paying our mortgage? And the utilities? For 6 months. Until recently, when I stopped. Is that why everything's getting shut off? Ask your wife where your paychecks have been going. Jessica lunged for the papers. This is private between me and Michael. Like my financial papers you've been snooping through? Or the calls to Robert asking about my husband's policies? Michael's expression hardened. You called her financial advisor? I was trying to help organize. And you've been calling my boss? Michael continued. Marcus mentioned it today. This isn't fair. You're ganging up on me. Where's the money going, Jess? Michael asked quietly. We make enough to cover our bills. We always have. Jessica started crying, those fake tears she uses whenever cornered. I've been trying to start my business. You know how important that is to me. Your online boutique? Michael looked bewildered. That doesn't explain thousands of dollars. I pulled out my phone. While we're being honest, let me show you something. I opened my banking app. These are automatic transfers to your joint account. Mortgage, utilities, groceries. 6 months of payments. Michael scrolled through the evidence, his face hardening. So, when you stopped, everything fell apart because apparently your paychecks weren't covering the basics. Jessica backed toward the wall. That's not fair! I invested in inventory, website development. Show us, Michael demanded. Show us this business. After 30 minutes of excuses, Jessica finally admitted there was no real business, just shopping, spa treatments, and loans to her mother, Diane. I deserve nice things, she shouted. I was stuck here playing nursemaid to your mother while you worked. Nursemaid? I laughed. You've barely acknowledged my existence except to complain. Michael paced the room. All this time you've been lying to me about our finances? About my mother? The doorbell rang. Perfect timing. I opened it to find Elaine carrying a folder. Right on schedule, I said, inviting her in. Who's this? Jessica demanded. My friend Elaine. She's a real estate agent. Elaine smiled. I brought the paperwork for your new condo, Lena. Everything's ready for signing. Michael looked shocked. You're moving out? When did you... I've been planning my exit strategy since your wife told me I don't contribute enough. I took the folder from Elaine. But first, there's something else you should see, Michael. I handed him bank statements showing Jessica's secret account with over $30,000. Money she'd been siphoning from their joint account. I found these while looking for my insurance paperwork she kept tidying up. Michael's hands trembled. There's a credit card statement here with my name on it. I never applied for this card. Identity theft is a serious crime, Elaine commented casually. 2 weeks later, I was settling into my beautiful waterfront condo while Michael moved into the spare bedroom. He'd filed for separation after discovering Jessica had opened multiple credit accounts in his name. The lawyer says we can prove financial infidelity, Michael told me over coffee in my new kitchen. And the identity theft charges are being considered? How's she taking it? Diane kicked her out after Jessica couldn't loan her more money. She's staying with a cousin trying to avoid the process server. A month later, Jessica's deceptions became neighborhood gossip after she was caught trying to pawn more of Michael's family heirlooms. Her social media influencer dreams collapsed when followers discovered her lavish lifestyle was built on theft. As for me, I joined a widow's support group, started volunteering, and even began dating a charming retired professor. The insurance money Jessica had been so desperate to get her hands on, I used it to start a small foundation in my late husband's name. Michael visits every Sunday for dinner. He's rebuilding his credit and his life, sadder but wiser. Sometimes the best revenge isn't dramatic confrontations, it's simply stopping the support that entitled people never appreciated in the first place. What do you think? Is financial betrayal in a marriage, like what Jessica did to Michael, worse than physical cheating? Would you have forgiven Jessica if you were Michael, or was cutting her off completely the right move? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about standing up to toxic people. New videos every day.